it was like crazy when I was like, I made $50 from like an online PDF.
That's how I found you.
I was just wanted to help. That was my intention. I like was into vintage tees and graphics, so I was like, oh, let's just make some vintage graphics. Yeah, I learned everything by myself. Oh, maybe I can like mix fashion or streetwear with fitness, which was my two greatest passions.
What are some of the things you want to do?
I still have like more brands in me in the future. There's a lot I want to do. There's so much I want to do. There's too much.
That's a whole another conversation for another podcast. Wow.
And that's what got me the following that I have now.
Wow. Callie G on the pod.
Yo.
No, the way you hold is fucking cool.
Oh, I'm just like...
You're probably just doing the Callie G things.
It's the Callie G way, I guess.
Yeah. This is your first time on the pod, hey?
It is. Indeed.
All right, so...
Thank you.
I mean, it's a privilege, you know? I kind of want to... So, first of all, if this is your first time, I kind of want to let you tell your story. I mean, there's a few things that I can say. You know, you studied in Concordia, and then you ended up starting your coaching business, got into content, was doing YouTube as well. Now you're a big-time fashion guy. So, but I want to let you tell your story. Yeah.
I try. Kind of said it there in like short form, but yeah, I went to Concordia for university, and at the time I was just doing like kinesiology, exercise science. I was super passionate about fitness. Like, it was my life. Like, I was genuinely super interested, so that's why I went to school for exercise science. I had no idea like what I wanted to do, so that was like the entryway into, I guess, that world. And then, you know, long story short, I kind of wanted to go on social media, share my progress, but it was genuinely because I wanted to just make content and share more about my progress and my journey. Like, I had fun, you know, I wasn't doing it for anything else. I was like just sharing like recipes and like workouts and like progress photos and stuff like that. And that's kind of like my natural step into content. I was always into making videos. Like, I have this vintage cam right there.
Yeah.
Or vintage cam. It's a camcorder. And
it's not running right now though, hey?
Nah, it's not running. And we got the fisheye and all that. But like, I got this camera when I was in high school because I would go up with my boys to the mountain. We'd go snowboarding. I live in Vancouver now, or I was born there and stuff. But we would go to the mountain, we'd snowboard, and we'd film edits. Like, we'd do that for skating as well. And I loved filming, editing, putting music to it. And that was my natural step into content without even it being like content, because at the time there was no Instagram, you know. It was just in high school, a couple homies, we just wanted to film shit. So that was my intro into content, I would say.
You were big into snowboarding at a time, hey?
For sure.
Because you're certified in one of the courses as well?
Yeah, I was a snowboard instructor at one point.
Yeah.
And I was riding like 5 times a week. Like, literally the mountain was a 10-minute drive to the base of the mountain from my place.
Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have like so many mountains in Vancouver, North Vancouver. You know, there's Whistler, that's like an hour-and-a-half drive. So we're super blessed out west to have like the greatest snowboarding, you know, some of the greatest snowboarding or skiing, I guess. But so yeah, that was like my natural step into content. And then from university, I was posting, you know, like just my progress and stuff on Instagram. And then I started having like friends and stuff ask me for programs. So that was my first kind of like venture into business, I would say, because I started just giving free programs, like making free PDF programs, because I just wanted to help. Like, that was my intention. And then I started getting like, I started getting people transformations. Like, they were like literally changing their like mindset, their bodies and everything. And I was like, okay, well, I'm getting more demand now because I'm posting more. So maybe I can turn this into a business, you know, and actually help people, but make money so that I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Right. So then I started charging $50. I did a $50 ebook, and it was like super detailed, bro. I put hours into this because it was my first product, right? I wanted to make sure it was good. And it was fully custom, like for nutrition, training, everything. And then I got my client results, and it was like crazy when I was like, I made $50 for.
Yeah.
So that was like super dope. And then that's when I realized like, okay, now I'm getting more demand. I'm showing transformations of my clients. And then I was like, okay, I could actually turn this into a business, because there's people that make a living off this. If I sell these for $50 each, I can't really make that much. And then I realized like, yeah, I could turn this into an actual business. So that's what I did. I hired a mentor at the time, like invested a lot of money into like my studies and stuff, and into mentorship. And then I built my coaching brand, which started as Cali G Fitness, Cali G Coaching. And then I came up with the name Health Hustle one day, just with my mom. I was just chilling with her and we were just talking about names, and that's how Health Hustle came about, which was like my first brand, which started as coaching, like it was fitness. And then I started building a community of clients, and I had a roster of like, I had 2 guys working with me. We had like 50 clients. You know, we were doing like,
wow.
Yeah, we were doing numbers like in terms of just like we were helping a lot of people out. It was dope. We had a really cool community, and that's when we realized like we should start doing merch. I was always naturally into fashion. I wasn't like crazy into fashion. Like I didn't have the best style, but I like was into vintage tees and graphics. So I was like, oh, let's just make some vintage graphics.
Believe it or not, I found you through one of your TikToks where you got really popular by one of those videos where you would do like streetwear style type of fit for gym. That's how I found you. And that's what actually inspired me to like not necessarily start working out, but I was going through a dry spell of not working out. And I was like, oh, let me go buy a cool vintage fit. And then I don't know, it just made me work out consistently for a bit.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. Well, you know what? That's actually how because I tried a lot of content within like the fitness space. I would post workouts. Everyone does that shit, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of was like, oh, maybe I can like mix fashion or streetwear with fitness, which was my 2 greatest passions. Like it's all I cared about. Just fitness, like looking good, feeling good. That's it, you know?
Yeah.
Looking fly, fucking getting jacked, like getting healthy, like all that. And so I was like, oh, let me do this like gym fit concept.
Yeah.
And at the time, no one did that shit. Like, and so I did that gym fits, and I would just put together like outfits for the gym, because I was in the gym 5 times a week already. So it's like, might as well put that shit on while I'm there. I'm filming in there. I'm making content. I'm like doing client stuff. So I might as well just look good and feel good. And that was my mentality with these gym fits. And that's what got me the following that I have now, because I was just pumping reels, bro, TikToks, like daily, you know, like with the guys I was working with at the time. We were just holding each other so accountable, and we were just like pumping content.
What does that mean to like hold each other accountable?
Yeah, well, I think it's really important, because right now, I mean, going through this transition into like focusing more on fashion, like I didn't really have that accountability anymore, because we were working as a team. And this is why I think having a team is so valuable, because especially of people that are driven and people that like have similar goals to you, because they hold you accountable. And there's nothing more powerful than like accountability, and having those people, you know, there to be there when you slip up and tell you you're slipping up, but also be there to encourage you and you know, tell you that they're proud of you and stuff, right?
Yeah.
You need that.
Would you, I have a bit of a random question, but would you have someone who has a similar mindset as you, but is not skilled enough in your team? Or you will have someone who is very skilled, but slacks off?
Easy. It's easy, bro. Mindset, 100%. Attitude. That's the most important. Like, because you can learn skills, but I don't think you can really teach attitude. And like, mindset is hard to teach people, because, you know, if there's someone that's like naturally very negative and stuff, it's really hard to like rewire someone's like thought process. But if there's someone that has an amazing attitude, that is super positive, that like is ambitious, is driven, creative, that's who you need on your team. And if you guys get along and you're into the same things, like that's what's up, you know?
Wow.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
because yeah, I remember when I had my brand. Yeah, your mindset really matters. So, have you always been someone who
Right.
has been driven?
Yeah, like I was having this conversation with my dad, and I was like looking back at my life, and when I was a kid, I was always very like into creative stuff. But at the time, like I would tell my dad, he brought this specific example of magic, magic cards, like the
Yeah.
gathering. I was super into that, and I was super into like Lego and these sort of things, Pokemon cards. But at the time, we didn't have money to like buy Pokemon cards. Like I wanted Pokemon cards, and
Yeah.
like I wanted Magic cards, and my dad's like, nah, like we can't afford that, or like we can't pay for that. So what I would do is I would literally draw them, bro. Like I would literally draw hundreds of different Magic cards because it was kind of like that figure it out mentality. It wasn't handed to me, so I had to figure it out. And I honestly feel like that has been the course of my life. It's just I've learned how to be resourceful and to, if it's not handed to like nothing's handed to you, so you have to figure out how to do it.
That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool realization for
Yeah.
sure with the cards. And now I remember like I used to draw so much, so and I was always creative. That was like
Okay, you've always been creative and somewhat been into fashion, but fitness kind of was like a huge passion of yours. So
yeah,
you kind of got into this lifestyle through fitness.
for sure. I think fitness has taught me so much, like how to be disciplined, how to take care of yourself, how to be independent, how to follow structure, like how to build and follow a structured program. And that carries over into like your professional life.
True.
I think it's just important to take care of yourself, right? For your mental health, for your physical health, just to, when you look good or like when you feel good, that's all that matters, right? Because like if you can look at yourself in the mirror and you're feeling yourself, you will go out with that same energy, and not
How
on
did
some cocky shit, but like on some just like confidence.
how did you get into fitness?
Insecurity, bro. Like I was just like on some real shit. It's like I got into fitness because I wanted to be better. I wanted to do better. I wanted to look better. I wanted to better myself. And I was like, I didn't like how my body looked. I didn't like where I was at with my health. I was in high school. I was smoking weed every day, bro. Like skating, like eating like shit. Just really unhealthy lifestyle. And you can do that when you're younger, but as you get older, like you start to, it's different,
Yeah.
it's you can't really do that. It's not sustainable. And so it really came from just like wanting to better myself, look better, feel better, live a better lifestyle. And it's helped me so much, dude. Like I'm so grateful that I went through all that like pain of working out. No pain, no gain,
No pain, no gain. Yeah. Appreciate you being like comfortable to say that. I think that's why a lot of people start their fitness journey.
For sure.
Would you say so?
100%, dude. I mean, I think it's the same with fashion too. Because like you want to look good, but why do you want to look good? Because, well, bro, Kanye said it best. What did he say in that track where he's like, I can't remember the specific line, but it's like, gosh, I wish I did. But it's something to do with insecurity, and we're all insecure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just the first to admit it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what he said.
Yeah, and it's like, I think that to some extent, like especially with fashion, it's like we want to look good for people, for other people that we don't really, do we really care about them? Like, we just want to look good out of maybe insecurity or whatever. But obviously I'm not speaking for everyone. I'm just saying, I think that's something that is normal and it's okay. But I've learned to love fitness and fashion for like the aspect of it just gives you confidence, and like you just put that shit on, bro, and you just look fly and you feel good, and it's a way to connect with people. It's a way to express yourself, all that. Like, it's great.
Talking about looking fly, Health Hustle was your previous brand.
Yeah.
That got rebranded into?
HH World. HH stands for hyperhuman.
Yes, sir. So let's kind of talk about that. Let's talk about the journey of rebranding, because that shit's tough.
Crazy.
Okay, here's the thing. So first you had this consulting business or the fitness business,
Yeah.
right? You were
Training.
making decent money. Then with merch and with content, you were making decent money. So why did you take this step that some people might even say unnecessary to rebrand and do the whole thing again?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've always been this like, I've been all about taking risks and also just following what you love, because if you don't love something, like why would you do it, you know? And like I got into fitness because I loved it. I was so obsessed with it, but then building the business and doing all that, I think it really, I kind of like got over it a little bit. Like it's something that's super personal to me now. Like I just train. I don't need to share it as much. Like I've been training for a while, but at the time it was like I wanted to like make this my business. But then I realized like it's so much more than just fitness to me. Like I'm so into fashion. I'm so into music, arts, culture, and being so into fitness I think is a bit isolating, because the fitness industry is, in my opinion, very isolating from like creative scene, because it's like, you know, working out, like a lot of people can't relate to that, especially in the fashion and arts world. So I don't know, I felt like I wanted to build a brand that was that could include more people and that was more inclusive. And now, you know, the brand was called Health Hustle. It's has health in the name. It's like you can't really get away with that
Yeah.
when doing clothes. So that's why I kind of wanted to go for something that was a little more inclusive. Like the branding right now is HH World, which is, what is that? It's pretty general, but HH stands for hyperhuman, and the whole concept of that is to build a community of creative and ambitious individuals. And that's, you find that throughout all disciplines: fitness, arts, fashion,
Yeah.
music. And I want people on my team that are ambitious and creative people. I want people that are doing crazy shit. Like our brand is about living a crazy life, exciting life, enjoying life, you know, going out there and doing shit. Like, you know, I'm so grateful where I'm at right now because I get to live, like I'm in Montreal right now. We're doing a podcast. I got so much to do here, and I'm just so grateful to be living this life. Like my younger self would be so proud. So, and I'm just like, I want to inspire people to do that shit, to like live. Example for people to live like that, because life is short, you know. What I was saying about the health thing, like I had a recent family member that was in the hospital and stuff, and that really gave me a lot of perspective, because it's like if you don't have your family and like your health, you got nothing. And all the shit that we worry about in life doesn't really matter. Like 99% of the shit we worry about, it doesn't matter. So like, why get stressed out about traffic, bro? Why get stressed out about, oh, the Uber is 5 minutes late, or shit, they put the wrong milk in your coffee at Starbucks? Like it's shit that just is wasted energy. Like you could just be putting that energy towards doing something productive or positive. And so I don't know, I think it's just a realization that we have one life and you're going to die someday. So why give a fuck? Do what you want, have fun, live your life. Like that's the motto.
What were some of the things you were focusing on prior to the event?
Yeah, well, I will say just in general, like I've always been big on personal development, like just naturally with the love for fitness. Like you're working on yourself. So I think it's just these years compounded over time of working on myself, listening to podcasts, reading books, like gaining life experience, meeting so many different people, failing, going through adversity, going through struggles, all these things. And that's like all these life experience, you can take that and you can either be jaded and negative about these things, and or you can look at it as learning lessons. And you know, um go that route, and I chose to go that route, right?
Yeah. Now that
If that makes sense.
no, it 100% makes sense. There was a chapter in your life where you were like heavily focused on helping people with fitness. Is there like, do you think right now there's a chapter in your life where you're focused on helping people with a certain thing?
Well, I want to try to do that with fashion, building a community, and all that. Um, and yeah, for sure. Like I think the backbone of the brand is always going to be like community and surrounding yourself with the right people and ambitious people and inspiring people, like, and helping people. And yeah, like our product is clothes. Like we sell clothes and we make dope shit and products, but it's more than just selling a product for me. A lot of fashion is selling like really nice clothes and building this world. And my world that I want to build is gonna have elements of health. It's gonna have elements of like inspiring people and stuff like that. So that's what I want to do with my work, is I want to always have that as like an underlying message with like the media and all these things. But like we do it dope. We do it different. We have fun doing it. That's the most important.
And that's the story you're trying to tell with Hyperhuman and Cali G.
Yes, sir. I think I still have like more brands in me in the future.
Yeah.
Like 100%, dude. There's a lot I want to do. There's so much I want to do. There's too much. That's the problem with being ambitious.
What are some of the things you want to do?
Definitely we'll start a luxury brand in the future. Like this one, this brand is going to be more targeted towards like being a bit more inclusive in a way. Like I would still like to add exclusivity, but we'll make it more like inclusive in terms of like price points and all that. So there's that. I want to get into coffee. I love coffee. I want to get into potentially hospitality. I would have to have great partners. Like other products, maybe like I always dreamed to open a gym, so I might bring Health Hustle back, who knows, or a different brand name and open a gym. Like there's a lot of things I want to do, but right now I'm just focused on building this brand like for the next 5 to 10 years.
That's amazing. Going back to your consulting days, as a person, has anything changed to like the person you were during those consulting days to the person that you're today? Is there a mindset shift?
For sure, bro. I've gained so much life experience from that, or like since that time. I think I'm more grateful now. I'm more like, I don't really know, like yes and no, because I'm still the same person.
Okay.
But yeah, like things have changed, of course. It's life, right? Like I used to be like this. I used to just skate and like smoke weed and chill and like not I want to say like I'm kind of going back to my roots almost, but not to that extent of like eating like
Okay.
shit and like smoking weed every day and whatever. But that was naturally what I was interested in, and like fashion and like clothes and like skating. I was always super into brands. Like I would draw brands in class all the time, like Burton, all the snowboard brands, the skate brands, girl skateboards, like all these different brands. I would just draw them. So I was obsessed with brands as a kid. And
Do you still draw?
I do, yeah. I do. I try. It's kind of another discipline that you got to like discipline yourself to.
So let's talk about discipline. You said you used to skate, smoke weed, and this and that. And it's a lot different to what you're doing now. So how were you able to develop that discipline?
Also, I apologize if I keep going on random tangents.
That's okay.
But
this is why this is a conversation and not a podcast.
Yeah. Well, discipline I got from training for sure, because I wasn't disciplined in high school at all. Like, bro, I was a little shit in high school.
How so?
Well, I smoked weed every day. Like, I got suspended. Like,
you got suspended?
I partied hard. Like, dude, I used to party like crazy. Like, all these things, skate, snowboard. With that lifestyle comes just like that fuck you mentality and like all that, you know?
That's another chapter in your life.
Yeah, exactly. But what I mean by like going back to my roots is like I was always doing shit like that, and I want to keep having fun. You know, I want to like, I don't want to be this like corporate motherfucker, like this like big business dude. Like I want to have fun while I build this business. Of course I want to make millions and all that, but I want to do it in a dope way, in a fun way, and that's my focus right now. I think that's a big mindset shift, because when I first started in business, fitness, I was very like disciplined mindset.
Yeah.
Like very like, yo, you got to grind. Like, but now I'm more focused on just enjoying the process and letting things like flow, you know?
But you're still disciplined. So
Yeah.
yeah, like what I'm
try.
trying to
Try to be.
but more than an average person, I guess.
Sure.
How were you able to make that lifestyle switch or shift from smoking weed every day? Nothing against people who smoke weed every day, but to the person that you are today. Was there, because like you did 75 hard, for example, you did half a marathon, you were consistent, you were consistently working out, posting content. So how were you able to add all of that in your life?
Well, hands down, it was through fitness. Like, bro,
Okay.
so like I started training in high school, and then I just kept going. Like I just kept training and stuff, and like I just fell in love with it. You know,
Do you remember
and
a
working on
specific
myself.
moment you fell in love with training?
Yeah, 100%. Like I remember a specific moment where I was in my house, and I was like, I think I had to like study or like do some work or whatever, but like all I was doing, I was like watching YouTube videos on like fitness and like how to like gain muscle, and like
Yeah.
and like how to like meal plans, and like how to like structure your diet, and like that's what I was obsessed with.
Were you
Like,
counting your macros?
yeah, I learned everything by myself. Like, and that goes back to the drawing cards thing. I've always just figured it out. I never like, it's YouTube University, and I've lived by that. Like I'm self-taught with like most of the things. I didn't go to fashion school, but I learned how to do cut and sew garments. I learned how to use Illustrator, design, like I learned how to design, and I'm nowhere close to where I want to be, but I have faith in myself that I'm going to be able to figure it out, because I've always figured it out.
I don't know where I heard this, but the most creative people are the most resourceful ones.
Yeah.
You wanted that 30 out of 30 Forbes accolade. You wanted to be a millionaire by 30, right? And at the time, probably you had all these, I guess, ambitious goals that you probably still have.
But I think the main thing is I want to build something that's like meaningful, and I want to be financially free so I can travel. I have a lot of goals, but like with the Forbes 30 under 30 thing, like of
Yeah.
course that would be nice, but it's not like my end goal, and if I don't achieve it, it's fine. I'm not stressed.
See,
about
this
that
is
shit.
where I'm trying to learn. For me, it's like not fine.
Okay, I got some actually.
Yeah, tell me.
Because, you know, something I've learned over the past few years or more recently is the more you have expectations for things, the harder it is on you, because like if you have all these expectations to do all these things and reach these goals, the moment you don't do it, you're going to be super down on yourself, and it might affect you negatively. So I kind of go into situations now where I just try not to expect anything, bro. And like I can use an analogy right now.
Please do.
So with my brand, and when I would do like these drops and stuff, I used to have these crazy expectations for them, and I would get like so anxious the day of, because I'm expecting to like sell out and like, you know, all these things. I think that's normal. But now I kind of go into drops I try to go in with no expectations, because then when I do have them, I'm not like disappointed if something goes wrong or whatever. It's just whatever happens. And yeah, if we sell at the drop, fucking amazing. If we don't, it's all good, right? But if I have this expectation that, which I used to have, yo, this is going to sell out, blah, blah, blah. And it did a couple times. So I was on my high horse, you know, and then I had another drop that came and it didn't do as well. And then I almost felt like a failure, you know, but at the end of the day, it's because I had this crazy high expectation for it. And so now I try to just do everything with no expectation at all. In a way, I have these big goals, of course, but if it doesn't happen, it's all good. If it happens, amazing, whatever.
But you know your potential,
For sure.
right? So how do you? Okay.
But
I don't know.
potential,
It probably is just a mindset shift.
yeah, definitely. Potential wise, I feel like I'm literally 1% of like what I could be.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like constantly working every single day to just like get better, improve, because I think I have so much more in me. And that's what I want to inspire people to do, is like to be able to like reach their potential, as like whatever corny or whatever you want to call it, but it's true. Like I want to inspire people to like really just go after it and like learn that they can do anything, because truly you can do so much more than you think you're capable of.
Doing challenges like 75 hard. Let's talk about a challenge like 75 hard, because that's something that I actually started doing it because of you. I think so.
Did you do it?
Uh, I didn't finish it.
Bro, you gotta,
know.
yeah, you gotta do it fully if you're gonna actually do it, right?
Yeah. I did 44 days, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
So that means you gotta do it again.
Exactly, 100%. I gotta do it again. What? How do you build enough discipline to do a challenge like that? And how was that journey
Yeah.
like?
Yo, I honestly think like the best way that I found to like build confidence in these things is doing the things you say you're gonna do. It's like self-integrity. Like if you tell yourself you're gonna do something and you do it, it gives you so much confidence to know that you can do shit, right? So that's why I think it's important to like start small. Like if you want to do 75 hard, it's a pretty fucking intense challenge. It's
Oh,
like
dude, it's crazy.
2 workouts a day for 75 days, a liter of water, right? Or sorry,
Yeah.
a liter of water every day. It's
A gallon of water.
A gallon of water. Yeah, a liter. A gallon of water every day. It's take a progress photo. It's like
Reading.
10 pages every day, and then there's one more. It's like
The-
follow a diet.
Yeah.
And that's a lot. That's 75 days of that. It's a huge challenge. So I would say like starting small is the best, because then you can like, you say you're going to do something, you do it.
Okay.
That's what's worked for me, you know. That's what's
Yeah.
helped me out. And
I mean, this is about your story and your experience,
for sure.
right? Like, probably everybody knows that you're not speaking for the entire world right now, or I hope so.
Of course.
A few things. What is a brand or a project that has influenced your work a lot?
I get influenced by I get inspired by so many people, bro.
Yeah.
Like my day-to-day life interactions, experiences, like even unrelated to like brands, and just literally like everyday interactions, you know? Like I could go general and say like
Yeah.
Nike or some shit, like, or I could
Okay.
say like Apple, like CDG and Dover Street Market and
Dover
Ray
Street Market,
Kawakubo, and how she built this empire, and it was so well done, I think. You know?
Yeah.
Like some people don't even know that Dover Street Market is tied with CDG, but it's like 2 different things. But Dover Street Market carries CDG in their store. You know how a lot of stores carry their own name brand?
Yeah.
Like the store's name is this, and then the brand is this.
Yeah.
People come in to shop for the other stuff mainly, but if you go to Dover Street, it's like there's no Dover Street merch. It's CDG, and like and
Yeah.
it's such a reputable brand, that such a cool creative space. Like the whole concept about it. It's just.
Is there a particular book that has influenced you?
I would say like, I really like biographies. So I read like Steve Jobs' biography, which was cool. Like obviously he's very controversial, but I just think it's incredible, like the way that his mind was and how he thought about. That I recommend.
And a person? There's so many. Like even I cannot name just one person, but just like I guess you can name a few people
Yeah.
that have influenced you.
Uzi,
Lil Uzi?
because he's just himself, and he
Okay.
just is different, and he just doesn't give a fuck. I love that. Virgil, obviously, like Virgil's one of my goats for sure,
Yeah,
just
rest in peace,
because
Lee.
of like his creative mind
Yeah.
and stuff. And also one thing about like Virgil is, I'm sure you've heard, like he was so nice to everyone. You see like texts that people share and shit with him, and he was always so encouraging and supportive, and I love that. Like, that's the energy I want to be on.
All right. Well, last question. So imagine you have a billboard that captures all the creatives. I always fuck this one up. Imagine you have a billboard that captures all the creatives' attention in the world. What message would you display on that billboard?
There's nothing in life that's worth doing if it's already been done before.
That's a whole another conversation for another podcast. Wow. Okay.
Because I think we don't need more of the same in the world. We need more different things, right?
Okay.
And that comes through authenticity, being your authentic self. And like, of course people want familiarity, but they want to see different shit, And so I think like, that's why I love creatives that are just like pushing boundaries with creativity, trying new things, like really doing cool shit. Like, I love that, So.
All right. That's it. So be yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
And like, don't be afraid to tap into your own like passions, like what you genuinely enjoy doing. Like, share that. Like, at least don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to take risks. Like, I think that what I would tell my younger self is like, don't be afraid to take risks, because like, if you don't take the risk, you're going to lose the chance, right? So
Life's short, man.
that's right.
So Callie G, if other creatives want to get in touch with you and start a conversation, what are some of the easiest ways?
Probably just like DM me on IG.
DM you on IG at Callie G.
Yeah.
All
Kelly
right.
GDJ.
Thank you for the conversation.
Of course, bro.
You've been a massively positive person in my life, like just through your videos. So it's crazy. Like, just think about how much impact you have made on other people's lives, especially like mine. So this truly was a pleasure. And anybody else I should have a conversation with that you want to see? Drake?
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about that. We'll talk about it, I think.
Sounds good.
Yeah, obviously there's like so many people, but keep doing what you're doing, bro, because actually I remember this conversation that we had.
Oh, we forgot to
like,
talk about that.
I'm gonna just say the story real quick before we end off.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But like, Saim was very persistent about having a conversation with me, because remember at the time you were DMing me.
Yeah.
And you wanted to like link up, and you wanted to get on the phone and stuff. And I think with your persistence, we were able to do it, because, I was in van, I was busy. You didn't really have like your podcast going and all these things, but I always want to give people like a chance and whatnot. And I was like, fuck it, let's just meet up. We met up when I was in Montreal, and you were like asking me all these questions about like, I want to start this podcast, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I was like, just do it, bro. Like, do it. I think we had a good conversation. I told you like certain things that you could try, because I have a YouTube channel, and so I have some experience, but I was telling you certain things, and you just did it, bro. And you kept going. You started getting a lot of guests onto your podcast, and I've had some people ask me to get on their podcast before, but I told them like I would like to see more stuff. I want to see the hustle. I want to see you grind and do more podcasts. And you were actually one that did that, because I've had people that just stopped, and you kept going, and you showed persistence like you did when we were messaging, and and now you're here, bro. And so I just want to say like I'm proud of you, and
thanks, man.
You gotta
Truly
keep the shit pushing, because it's what's needed, and you're very positive, and we need more of that. So
thank you, man.
Keep it pushing, bro.
Thank you. It truly means the world. I mean, people around me have helped me so much. Shout out to Sam, for example, for letting me use his fucking space at Out and About Studio, the best fucking store in Montreal.
Pull up.
Shout out to everybody in my life, man. But I just want to say one thing before we end this. If you want to do something, just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, bro.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet, man. Truly fucking means the world, though.
Unreal.
All right. There we go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.